Hello and welcome to another dramatic reading by me and Zani84. And this week we'll be doing another installment of Misery Senshi Neo Zero Double Blitzkrieg Debacle. We'll be doing up to 14, which is closest to the end. Or maybe chapter 13. Now check how many chapters this fic has. Okay, we're at 14. We're 16 plus an epilogue. So I'll do it to chapter 14, that way I can make the next one a two-part chapter thing. Daria approached Usagi. Usagi, are you feeling okay now, she asked. I think so, replied Usagi. Why? Daria answered, I need to get back to Lawndale right away. Things are getting out of hand there and I'm the only one who's been fixed up. Or, no, the police could sort it. Or the army. Where are they? Hey, seriously. I do have a new power that I was given recently, replied Usagi. It's a moon teleportation power. That might get you there quickly. How convenient. Usagi, Luna warned. You're still not completely recovered from your injuries. You need to get some rest. Right now, Daria's family might be in danger and we've got to help her, Usagi said. Besides, you don't know if Ari survived the crash or not. We could at least see if she's alright. I now realised it was useless to argue with Usagi when she was determined to do it her way. Very well, Luna said. Don't ever do it. You lost a lot of energy when you were shot down. Again, Torimo overheard what was said. You're going to go back. Don't stay too long since Yoriko could be back at any moment. We won't be gone long. You have my word, Daria said. Liar. Usagi got up and grabbed her own moon scepter with the silver Imperium crystal in it. You mean the crystal that's now embedded in her brooch and has long since evolved? Oh, wow. Go on to a handle the scepter with me, Usagi said. Want to say, moon teleportation activation! Will simultaneously be sent over to where you want to go. Silver Imperium crystal will read your thoughts and take you to your destination. Wouldn't it just be easy to use the three sliders Scotty always used on the transporter on Star Trek? Daria replied. Daria, please spare me your flippant attitude right now, said Usagi in disgust. Usagi and Daria grabbed onto the moon scepter. It began to glow. Usagi got an image in their minds of where Daria needs to go. Alright, here goes nothing, Usagi said. Moon teleportation activation! Almost once it seemed like Usagi and Daria vanished in a beam of light. Good luck, Usako, Daria, Mary said to himself. I think you'll need it. Almost instantaneously, Usagi and Daria arrived in Lawndale. This is Lawndale, Usagi said. Yep, it's my little slice of hell, Daria said. Why is everything so quiet? Usagi wanted to know. Suddenly 2 Lawndale militias saw them. Really? It took them only a few seconds to notice a beam of light? That's efficient. Kill them! One of the soldiers screamed. Why? They've done nothing to harm you. The other soldier fired his AK-47 at them. Why AK-47 in particular? Not exactly the kind of welcome you usually get here, Daria stated. But right now my best advice to you is to run like hell. They both did. The soldiers pursued them. Suddenly someone jumped out of nowhere and threw a grenade at them, blowing them up to pieces. Up to pieces. There's a word there that's redundant. I think that's redundant. Also, that's a bit extreme. Take that, bastards! See you in hell! The young lady screeched. It's rather bizarre. Her heavy eyeliner is obviously drunk. And how does she know what's going on? Who are you? Usagi asked. That's Andrea, a resident goth girl. You know, she's into Maryland Manson and all that. Daria replied. Hey, Daria, asked Andrea. When did you join the Navy? And who's that ponytailed wuss with you? Rows of meatballs, you dumb drunk. I beg your pardon, Usagi said. I didn't join the Navy, Andrea, Daria said. It's supposed to be a Japanese schoolgirl's uniform, except this is superheroine's outfit. Andrea, this is Sailor Moon and I'm supposed to be Sailor Mercury. I came over here to stop the Lawndale militia from destroying our town. Well, Andrea said, Mr. Yamashino has organized a resistance unit and we're fighting back. Not only that, those 2 adults, Beavis and Butthead, went after your sister. They did? Asked Daria. Luckily, Miss Vash and Amy rescued her, replied Andrea. When you say Amy, Sailor said, did you mean Mizuno Amy? She's a friend of mine. She's kind of short black hair and a all cut. Yeah, admitted Andrea. That's what she looks like. Where is she? Sailor Moon asked her. She's over at Dyer's race, replied Andrea. She ran to her parents. She ran to Jane Lane, Jesse Moreno, and Miss Buzz to protect Quinn in case Beavis and Butthead attack again. Where that, dude? Dyer said, knowing in the middle of the street. Huh? Sailor Moon asked. That's the phrase I picked up from those two, Dyer did. Which two? Left away for Dyer's house. Quinn was in the shower at her house, and then suddenly a maniac came in and stabbed her, set to dramatic strings music. For the first time, she was real worried for her sister. She didn't know she was alright. She made it out of alright from this. I promise I won't deny she's my sister ever again. I have to wonder what was season 5 out when Grown wrote this, because that literally dropped that gag like a mallet. She was saying to herself, known to her though, was at that very moment, Beavis and Butthead were pulling right up to her house. How do they know where she lives? They got out of the sheriff's cruiser they had commandeered. They got out and kicked in the door. Where's Quinn? Butthead roared. Miss Bart heard what was going on, took her rifle, firing at them. Get out and stay out, she yelled. However, Beavis leapt right back inside and sprayed her with mace, which he has for some reason. She was sent yelping in agony. Get out of the way, bitch! It's Beavis roared. Everyone else heard what was going on and raced to the door. But I was running up the stairs with Jake pursuing him. Hey you, get out of my house right now, Jake yelled. Butthead took the billy club that he had taken from the front seat of the sheriff's cruiser, hit Jake over the head of it. Jake fell backwards down the stairs. Jake! Helen screamed. Butthead went to a bathroom and kicked in the door. Quinn saw it and Helen screamed, No! Get away from me! We're gonna score with you whether you like it or not, you bitch! Butthead yelled. He dragged her by the hair downstairs. He flung her on the couch. Why is Helen not doing anything? Beavis maced Jake and Helen, sending them screaming angry Miss Bart. Amy, Jane, Trent and Jessie all ran over to the living room. Hold it right where you are, Amy screamed. After we're done poking you, we're gonna cork you. And we're gonna poke you, Jane and Miss Bart, Beavis said. Man, he's got some game going after an older woman. Then dropped his shorts. Gwen screamed, Oh no! Boxers! Someone help me! Beavis was about to drop his briefs and Don yelled, Hold it right there, bastards! Beavis and Butthead turned around and saw Sailor Moon, Dyer and Andrea standing in the front doorway. Sailor Moon began her introductory speech. I am a pretty soldier, eternal Sailor Moon, champion of love and justice. In place of the moon, I will punish you. No, it's translated as in the name of the moon. Or on behalf of the moon. You know, something that doesn't sound awkward. And her speech for a few seconds. They said, Whoa! Beavis, look who's here. Beavis saw it was as Baby Wing's answered, Diarrhea cha-cha-cha, diarrhea cha-cha-cha, diarrhea cha-cha-cha. Went on for 5 minutes. Thankfully, I will not subject you to 5 minutes of that. How dare you interrupt me when I'm giving my introductory speech, Sailor Moon said. You pretty clearly finished it. It always ends with, I will punish you, or I will right wrongs and triumph over evil, and that means you. Sailor Moon, most of Beavis and Butthead, Darren said. I know it's true when I used to live in Highland. I used to be in Scotland. And they're two stupid troublemaking jerks. Make the students at Lawndale High look good. I'll take care of this. Dyer went up to her and said, Beavis and Butthead, and if you rape my sister, I swear to God I will not rest till I hunt you down, rip your hearts out, cook them on a skillet and make you eat them. He said, Fuck you, diarrhea, and dropped his briefs. I've got a king-size stiffy. Oh God, this has become just the worst. If you need an electron microscope to see it. And then grabbed Beavis by the scruff of his neck and flung him across the room. Beavis grabbed Quinn. No, Butthead ran up to Sailor Moon, ripped her Sailor Fugu blouse in half. Oh God, and had her joke going, You're gonna let us go, Quinn, or I'll kill Sailor Moon here. I mean, you heard her best friend was in danger. What could she do? You could use your superpowers to subdue him. Beavis got up, grabbed Quinn violently from the couch, and was taking her down the hallway. Jane grabbed a nearby poker and ran down the hall. She hit Beavis over the head with it. Quinn ran away screaming. Run, Quinn! Jane yelled. Way ahead of you. Quinn ran down the street, not caring that she was stark raving naked. It meant she was promptly arrested for indecent exposure. Your favour at you, bitch, Beavis said, slapping Jane across the face. Hen was the first to recover from her macing. They obviously didn't spray her with much. She got up and ran towards Beavis. Get out of my house, now, she yelled. Beavis responded by slapping her across the face. Darling, this is too much. So out to Beavis and kicked him and Butthead in the testicles. Even though they're standing at opposite parts of the building, they were sent howling. Sailor Moon broke free. Sailor Moon, kick! She yelled. She kicked them in the testicles as well. For good measure, Andrea kicked him in the testicles herself. It was a dick kicking contest. Trent and Jesse sucker punched him from behind. Amy then grabbed a vase and broke it over Beavis' head. What's it gonna take to stop these two? He turned around and hit her. Jake and Ms. Bart got up now. Ms. Bart knew she had to act quickly. Beavis got splashed wet and meant, "Ah, I am a great corn Julio. You have made me angry." He and Butthead ran to the kitchen, grabbed knives, and nobody stopped them, and ran, now completely deranged, right toward Dyer. Dyer, no, they'll kill you, Trent said. Beavis grabbed Dyer by the collar of her Seibafuku and was going to punch a knife into her heart when Ms. Bart took her rifle and blew his brains out. The brains just splattered all over the place. Honestly, given how unstoppable they are, I'm surprised he didn't just get up and just mace her again. You killed Beavis, you bitch! Ted yelled and ran at Miss Bart blew out his brains as well. And Miss Bart was later tried for child murder. Both eyes twitched for a few seconds. Oh god, then stopped. It was all over. This words that the author should have taken into heart when writing this. Yes. Diarrhea ran down the street and caught up with Quinn. She was bored in her fetal position, crying. Quinn, it's over now, said Dyer. Miss Bart killed Beavis and Butthead. They won't harm her anymore. Dyer took Quinn in her arms and hugged her, letting Quinn cry on her shoulder. Didn't matter if he was splattered with brains on her outfit. Dyer, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm glad you showed up, Quinn sobbed. I'm very lucky to have a big sister like you. I never denied for a sister again, even to get drugged out of a fashion club. Quinn broke down and cried. Dyer patted on the back. Dyer smiled to herself. The others went up to her. Dyer, you okay? Trent said. Ren, what's going on here? Asked Dyer. Trent got closer and said, It's terrible, Dyer. The Lawndale Militia has taken over the town. They're trying with city government in a moot court. Then there was a plane crash and we found Amy there. And of course Beavis and Butthead tried to rape Quinn. It's all been so horrible. We're happy to have you back. And Dyer? Yes, Trent, he axed. Is this Futurama? Trent went up to her and said, I love you. I haven't spelled it until now. I never had the courage to say it. After seeing you being willing to sacrifice your life to save the enemy, it has given me the courage to tell you how I feel. We then French kissed. Ew, they're kissing, Quinn said. Oh, grow up. Oh, isn't that sweet, Helen said. Jane just nodded her approval. She all along how us two felt for each other and somehow felt vindicated that she played a part of matchmaking in this affair. Says he got a bit emotional. It's all too beautiful, man, he said. I've turned her into Jessie from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Then we went up to Amy and said, Amy, you thank Queen Saray, but you're alright. I had a rough go of it, that's for sure, Amy replied. The Colbert County Sheriff's Department and the police are incapacitated right now, Ms. Bart said. The coroner is going to take these oaths to... Okay, I've had a bit of a problem with the loading thing. I'm going to have to skip... I've skipped ahead a while. It's not long, it's basically just a bit of another reminding us about Ms. Bart is an unpleasable sexist. Anyway, Yuzaki was recapping what's happened, and he got the name of the shrine wrong again. Things are getting desperate over there. What about here? Well, Amy said, you heard it from Trent. A right-wing militia group has seized control here. It's a war zone here. Dyer, Jane asked, how do you get mixed up in all of this? Dyer answered her. Amy asked me to take her place as Sailor Mercury. When she got accepted for her pre-med studies in Germany. When the Neo Zero affair broke out, I got involved in it big time. It hasn't been a bowl of cherry, to say the least. Dyer went to Sailor Moon Amy. I guess introductions are in order. Sailor Moon, Amy, I'm wanting to meet my parents, Jake and Helen Morgendorfer, my sister Quinn, my best friend Jane Lane. her brother and my boyfriend Shren, his friend Jesse Moreno, my science teacher Janet Bartz, and Andrea, our local goth girl. Everyone was a Sailor Moon, her friend Mizuno Ami. Everyone shook hands with each other. "We got our work cut out for us here and back in Japan," Sailor Moon said. "We got to free Londale and stop Naira back in Japan." Everyone vowed they'd help each other resolve both crises. Apparently they all speak the same language. They then set out to return to the free Lawndale's base camp. The jury had reached a verdict in the trial. They filled in. Anthony asked the foreman if they had reached a verdict. "We have, Your Honor," the foreman said. "We find all the defendants guilty of all the charges against them." "Very well," Anthony said. "You're all hereby sentenced to be executed by firing squad at the middle of Town Park at noon. This court is adjourned." The guards dragged the guilty parties away to be executed. Unless something happens soon, all would be lost. Seriously, why is nothing happening? Okay, now I get... Chapter 13. Crush, Kill, Destroy, or the Battle of Lawndale. Tokyo looked like it had never been rebuilt from either the American bombings of 1945 or the 1923 Kanto earthquake. Except the fact that, it's very clearly a different architecture. Corpses were everywhere, rats picking them clean to the bone. Fires are still raging out of control. About 15,000 feet above the can is the reason why all this is happening. Mitsubishi Neo Zero prototype. Presumably the production model won't have this thing. Yoriko is on what she was hoping to be her final bombing run. One of the 3 drop tanks has been replaced by a sarin super bomb which she intended to drop on the Imperial Palace itself. The Imperial family was killed, but NIRAA would then step in unopposed rulers of Japan. No, it would just default to the nearest living relative who wasn't dead. 53 years of waiting will soon come to an end, Yoriko said. Right now her CD player had Soundgarn's Super Unknown CD in it, and it was playing Black Hole Sun. But I'm not going to be recounting the lyrics or playing the song. Instead, I'll go for something suitably appropriate with the lyrics Black Hole and Sun. Somehow, if they're playing this song right now in the middle of Tokyo with this black hole sucking up everything, it would have been sickeningly appropriate. Yoriko set her sights on making a few more bombings. Back at SDF FHQ, Gen, Toriyama and Ryu are trying to use their undermanned forces as best they can. A considerable amount of casualties have been rendered on ground, sea and air SDF units. There's JSIB agents and a considerable amount of USA, USN, USMC and USAF troops. Urgent message has been forwarded to the American, France, Russian and Taiwanese presidents, as well as the Canadian, British, German, Italian and even the Chinese prime ministers. Where the hell are you, you bastards? South Korean president and North Korean premier, who rarely agreed on anything, had agreed to jointly defend their respective nations if the crisis spilled into their area. Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, Thailand, India, Nepal, Bhutan, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan. We didn't start list the countries. It was always growing and he's making me hurl him. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. Indonesia, the Philippines, Papua New Guinea, Australia and all the various oceanic nations had all declared states of emergency. The UN Security Council was meeting in an emergency session. The American Congress also meeting in an emergency session, as well as the British, Canadian, French and Russian parliaments. The situation was teetering on the edge of World War III. Except it isn't. You would nearly need to send in all your air forces to shoot down one plane. Never before have I seen this nation in crisis like this. In crisis like this, Gen Toriyama said. We will not survive this dark night of despair. Tuxedo Mask went to him and said, General, they always say it's darkest before the dawn. Sailors Senshi and I fought against worse odds and missed and prevailed. See, even he acknowledges that this is the least of the enemies the sailors have faced. Many times it seems the entire plan would fall to the force of evil, but we prevailed. This is not the time to despair. Again, Toriyama then realised he did have an ace in the hole. He ordered ground SDF pilots to approach him at once. Private, Gen Toriyama said he took out a pen and paper. Call this number and get in touch with Mr. Hamada Ieyasu. He may be our nation's last hope. Right away, sir, Private said, saluted and proceeded to the nearest phone. Gen Toriyama returned to Tuxedo Mask. Mr. Chiba, he began to say, "This is a secret I've been keeping to myself for 15 years. If I don't survive this, I want it to be known now. This situation has brought us to the surface. It was me. I sanctioned the building of Baneo Zero. I gave Dr. Vanderhelven his lease on the Pride Outs. And now I think it's been made public. Guess you remember that incident where the Soviet MiG shot down the KL flight that had wandered into Soviet airspace? Man replied, "I think we all do, General. It was all over the news." Gentoi Mura continued, "I was a recently commissioned flight lieutenant back in 1983. I was in charge of a squadron near Sapporo, not too far from where the incident occurred. We were on routine patrol, noticed the 2 aircraft near our position. Went to investigate and saw the whole incident happen. We cannot retaliate due to the Article 9 prohibitions." No, again, that is not how Article 9 works. Article 9 prevents you from attacking a foreign nation, but if a foreign nation chooses to attack first, you are allowed to retaliate. Later on, I saw 2 names on that list. Sister Torimura Keiko and my brother-in-law Kino Jimu. Jimu isn't his name. If I had only done something then, they would still be alive now. The board would believe I'd investigated the affair, cleared my squad of negligence. Well, clearly that board should also go for inquiry, since they clearly are guilty of it. I still feel I have more responsibility for what happened. Did your sister and brother-in-law have any children? Asked Mamoru. I ask this now because how many people named Kino are there in Japan? I had 1 daughter, Makoto, replied Gen Torimura. Tino mouthed about with his mouth wide open. Do you know her, Mr. Chiba? Asked Gen Torimura. Tuxedo Mask answered. Yes, I do. The ran to sail Jupiter and brought her over. What's the meaning of this, Mamoru? She asked. Gen Torimura, Mamoru said. Tell Makoto what you told me. Wait, how do you know it's the same Makoto? What if their names are written differently? Makoto, I'm your uncle. No, wait, I can try that again. And just give me a minute to search for something. Never mind. I'll get to Dr. sit through this ad.
Don't miss out. Get your tickets now.
Ad. Never mind. Makoto, I am your uncle. No, it's not true. That's impossible! Search your feelings. You know it to be true. No! I was on patrol that day when your parents died in the Soviet attack on the KL aircraft and saw what happened. And I know I should have done something, but we are bound by oath to observe Article 9 at all times. Well, you weren't observing it. I understand if you can't find any room in your heart to forgive me. Makoto, however, suddenly flung her arms open, embraced her uncle, and cried. Man, she holds no grudges at all. If only I knew sooner that I had living relatives, Makoto cried. Which reminds me, why didn't this guy adopt her? Did he just decide that I had to leave be 5-year-old to fend for herself? What a dick. How is this dude sympathetic again? Now you have a family again, replied Gen Torimura. This is all over, you'll meet your aunt and your 2 cousins. That is if we survive, otherwise, well, you'll see them in hell. One, a boy is a senior at Shinjuku Boys Academy. The other, a woman is a sophomore at Tokyo University majoring in economics. You can move on to us and we'll take care of you. You don't have to be lonely anymore. The other set of Senshi gathered around to its union. Right now, he said, I am so happy for you. It is ironic that the same event I've robbed me of my family has restored yours. Oh, that is not irony at all. It's coincidence. My blessings go with you, Mako-chan. After the reunion, Tuxedo Mask was ready to get back to business. Okay, as acting leader in Usagi's absence, we've got to prepare for the worst. All of the sailor Senshi are to go to the Imperial Palace. We're to defend it at all costs. Yes, surely. You're having like 80% of the same power that in Eternal Sailor Moon. The same power that lost the Neo Zero before is going to make a difference. I will wait here for Usagi's return with Daria. Is that understood? There's neither Ami or Daria here. I'm naming you as Field Commander Ray. Mean the role she already plays? Nice. Now move out and protect the Emperor. as was said during the Meiji Restoration, let it be said now. Honor the Emperor and expel the barbarians. As they essentially moved out. You heard the man, people, Genjoy said to the ragtag remnants of the SDF. Why are they remnants? Did the others desert? Move it! The Emperor is to be protected at all cost. Go now and protect our democratic way of life, even knowing that if your life is snuffed as a flower of a cherry blossom, at least you'll go to wherever fate sends you in peace for yourself, but you have defended Emperor, government and country. Defended Emperor. If you're willing to sacrifice your lives to protect your families, to protect our civilian government, to protect all that we value our nation. Banzai! 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 Aye, apparently he is also part of the NIRA. Without the troops cheered, Banzai! Then they donned a new headband, was ready with the business of the Japanese flag. The Kanakaji, which is not what it's called. I've looked up Kanakaji and that's a name, not the language Japanese is written in. That's either kanji or katakana, and it's obviously going to be to protect freedom and democracy. All somehow knew that if lives were to be sacrificed this time, as of the Kanakaji pilots of the previous conflict. What you're saying makes no sense. At least they're doing this now to protect the free, democratic Japan that was committed to peace. Not to appease militaries who were land-hungry and cowbred and put into signed assent. Except they didn't. He was totally on board. Or he just didn't realise how far they'd go with it until it was too late. Why many Americans still held the show responsible for what happened was puzzling. No, it isn't. We know why. I literally just explained it. Did he not, after all, secretly disagree with almost all of their actions? No, he literally gave them free rein to do what they want. Even if the Emperor was not a god, at least he now stood as a champion of DC. He's not the Showa Emperor anymore, it's the Heisei Emperor. Not even that in real life, it's the Reiwa Emperor. Order and democracy against those who have plunged all of Asia into turmoil again. Now realise what has went wrong for the past 53 years. Mistakes had to be admitted and repaired. There's no one made any mistakes. After that, Japan had to strive better to fit into the international community. They fit in fine. Good relations had to be made abodes to once vanquished. Perhaps someday after the communist regime in Beijing collapsed, there was an article of faith that it would someday. Well, we're in 2021 and it's still going strong and shows no sign of collapsing. The democratic government in Taipei are taking over. Perhaps then both nations will encourage the rest of East Asia and South Asia to form some sort of NATO-like organisation and to defend themselves from threats like this. They have such an organisation. Its name is EATO, the East Asian Treaty Organisation. And peace was the way of the future. Even someday perhaps Russia and other former Soviet nations would join their old Warsaw Pact allies in NATO as a united front for peace. Man, this guy has a fairly not nonsense as a view of Japanese world culture about views he knows nothing about it. The threat was no longer from major nations like Russia or China. Newsflash, it still is from major nations like Russia or China, but from rogue states like Iraq, Libya and Iran. No, those guys are no threat. It's just American fear-mongering. And from the likes of Bush. And terrorist groups like the NIRA, Islamic Jihad and the IRA. All of whom have all lost much of their clout beyond, aside from that whole Twin Towers thing. Since the war, patriotism did not count for much in Japan, which is committed to international peace and friendship. Now it realized that one can still find pride in one state and still commit that nation to peace and prosperity to all nations. It's very clear the guy who wrote this has never met anyone from Japan in his life. In this day and age, when not a nation's great achievements be shared by all, that is literally the whole point of achieving them, so they can be shared. For over a century and a half, Japan stood as one nation in what the rest of the world called the Third World as a model for modernisation and development. It had been reluctant to share that knowledge and others afraid of them. It's not reluctant, they literally have foreign students in Japan and foreign workers at major companies. Pokemon Sword and Shield was directed by a guy from England. I was afraid of them. We're not afraid. Now if it survives this calamity, it will find a new purpose, a new meaning for itself. Best patriotism now is to spread the gospel of success, prosperity and modernization to those who are still in the dark. That does seem like a lot like imperialism. Pretty much the opposite of what this guy's trying to promote. It did not have to be bullets or napalm by technology and progress. Definitely imperialism. But of its new sense of purpose, the SDF troops found themselves singing Kimi Gayo, the national anthem. This song essentially was sung only at the start of sumo wrestling tournaments. And it wasn't even played at the start of baseball games. Theme fight songs being played again. Gee, I wonder why. What's the cause of voices found new meaning to those old words? And I discovered why it's not only sung at sumo wrestling tournaments, because when the author wrote this fic, it wasn't the national anthem, it was just a very old song associated with the country. And he tried translating it to English, but I'll just compare it to an actual translation to pretty much point out how wrong he got it. He said it, may thy peaceful reign last long. Long may it last for 1,000 years until this tiny stone will grow into a massive rock and the moss will cover it all deep and thick. This video I found alternatively translated as, may your reign continue for 1,000, 8,000 generations until the pebbles grow into boulders lush with moss. This is, may Japan's reign last for 10,000 years. Until the pebbles grow into boulders lush with moss. So pretty much he definitely got a blind idiot translation. The SDF was preparing to take back their nation from those who were determined to destroy it. This time they were doing it for a civilian government. They dedicated to the precepts of democracy and peace. Oh God, this guy is definitely an American writing about another country and applying his own opinions on his country to that country. Again, Toriyama and Ryu stood there, seeing the troops leaving. Are we witnessing the start of a new era for Japan, or the beginning of the end? Ryu said. A few years ago, began again Toriyama. I saw a film from anime master Oshimamu. No, you didn't, because you are not the type of general who probably would watch such a movie. It's called Patrol Labor 2. It's a movie. In the film, when Batman tried to stage a military coup and take over Japan, but the Special Vehicles Section 2 stopped them. I can only hope that the SDF will be able to stop them. But if they fail, we've lost this war. Those fought to remain with him even as the last of the troops left. Along now City Park was jammed with people. Most of them were members of the Lawndale Militia, but there were some curiosity seekers as well. The mayor, city council and city judge were all bound and gagged and lined up for a firing squad to shoot at them. Auntie got in front of him and made his declaration. As of this moment, I declare myself to be dictator of the city. As my first decree, I declare martial law and a curfew from 6 PM to 6 AM every day until further notice. All laws will be promulgated by me after conferring with my war council. Why a war council? Are you planning to take war on the rest of America? Which, given how passive they've been, probably would succeed. Anyone who dares defy any laws made by me will be shot right where they are. After this execution is carried out, everyone should go back to their homes. Anthony got out of the way. The firing squad below the rifles. Ready! Anthony said. Firing squad had the rifles ready. Aim! Anthony now shouted. They now aimed. Suddenly someone screamed, "Attack!" It was Mr. DiMartino and the Lawndale militia. I thought the bad guys were Lawndale militia. Is there a mutiny? They were in hiding in buildings surrounding the park and now charged like mad with their machine guns blazing. No! Anthony screamed. Not now! Not at my moan of triumph! Sailor Moon in eternal mode. She has no choice. She's stuck in eternal mode. Now swooped out of the skies like a fighter craft. She had a machine gun and was firing it like crazy. The Lawndale militia now scattered. Don't just stand there, Anthony said to the firing squad. Fire! When two voices yelled out, "Sharon spray freezing!" The firing squad was frozen solid. Daryl and Amy emerged out of their positions and ran to free the condemned prisoners. We've got to retreat, Commander, Poindexter said. Anthony responded by taking his .45 Magnum and blowing Poindexter's brains out. Jesus, anyone who retreats will be shot, he yelled. The other man who's caused all this misery, Sailor Moon said. I won't allow you to continue. I am a priest soldier, eternal Sailor Moon, Prince of the Moon Kingdom, future Queen of Crystal Tokyo, champion of love and justice, and your worst nightmare. Noah's speech is the pretty warrior in a sailor suit who fights for love and justice, Sailor Moon. And he gets it wrong again. In place of the moon, I will punish you. I won't let you stop when I'm this close to fulfilling my dreams, Anthony yelled. Seems to be getting away from fulfilling your dreams. But he grabbed a bazooka, where the hell was that lying, and fired it right at Sailor Moon. Spewed out away as a rocket hit a nearby truck. Anthony then fired another rocket, then another and another, causing Sailor Moon to dodge him like crazy. You can't keep us up forever, you know, Anthony said. Sailor Moon knew he was right. She was beginning to tire. Daryl knew that something had to be done. The National Guard troops that Mr. DiMartino contacted wouldn't arrive for 2 hours yet. We had to hold the Lawndale militia at bay until then. All seemed hopeless until Amy came up with an idea. Daria, try to draw some back to 5 Musagi, she said. You go and free your prisoners. Daria ran to her prisoners and undid their binds. Run, get out of here, she yelled. Ran to safety. Amy was beginning to draw Anthony's fire, which is useless now since the prisoners are all free. Hey yourself, Amy, I've got to stop him, Musagi yelled. You're our leader, Amy said. I'm sworn to protect you at all costs. Devon thought of a plan of her own. What? She stood right in front of Anthony, who was about to fire another rocket and bazooka. How does he reload so fast? Sabon spray freezing! She yelled. Suddenly the front end of the bazooka was frozen solid. Anthony just pressed the trigger and, not being a fool, flung the thing out of the way as the rocket hit the ice and exploded the weapon to atoms. The rocket would not destroy the weapon if it hit the ice. It would smash through the ice and continue firing. After he'd frozen the whole thing, England reminded of a bit of logic. We'll be back, he roared and fled the others. Now 3 Lawndales have retaken the downtown area. That was pretty brave of you to do that, Sailor Moon said. I had to do what I had to do, Daryl replied. Mr. DiMartino gathered the 3 Lawndales around and said, we may have won control of the downtown area, but the enemy still has control of the outside areas. We have to prepare ourselves for another attack. Daryl realized that the next battle will either mean the liberation of Lawndale or the beginning of a dark age, not just for Lawndale, but for the rest of the nation as well. Okay, 1, why the next battle? You pretty clearly freed all the city officials here. And 2, why the rest of the nation? They don't seem to have much of a goal beyond conquer Lawndale and turn it into a military dictatorship. Back at the Lawndale Gun Club, Anthony now is trying to rally the troops. We have suffered a minor setback, but now it's time to finish the job we started. I'm going to authorize all of you to use the sarin grenade that I managed to acquire from some El Salvadorian death squads. You are hereby authorized to use these weapons in any means necessary to finally obliterate the enemy. Hey, Lawndale will be ours! Everyone yelled, death to the enemy! Yurika is now flying over Yokohama, port that served Tokyo. She bombed many critical port facilities and factories. Flames are everywhere, and almost every critical military base that could be of help is obliterated. So how is the SDF still standing? Yoko is now heading for Tokyo proper and Imperial Palace. Isn't Matt in Kyoto? Oh, I'm no expert, but... Soon, but the NIRAA will triumph, she said. Yoko was in a sub to immediately cramped up blank monk time again. And she was playing Complication. Gary Berger's savage guitarist led into his angst-driven vocals. Complication! 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 Constipation! That's probably a typo. People cry. Complication! People die for you. People kill. Complication! People will for you. People run. Complication! Ain't it fun for you? People go. Complication! To their depth for you. People cry, people die for you, people die for you, people cry, people die for you, yeah they will for you, people cry, people run, people die for you, yeah it's fun for you, people cry, people die for you, to their deaths for you. Down below, Tokyo is not sharing Yoriko's jubilation. Against which the advisor, Emperor Akihito decided to tour the city. I've realised that if anyone from Japan and read this book, not only will they be insulted by its very negative depiction of their country, inaccurate depiction of its country, they'd also be enraged that he dared to depict the Emperor. Since in Japan it's illegal to feature the Emperor in anything except news and children's books. He remembered vividly when his father, the Showa Emperor, tore up the bombed-out areas of Tokyo in World War II in a somewhat similar fashion, whether Hirohito was wearing his military uniform at that time. Akihito insists on wearing a plaid shirt, leather jacket, casual slacks, and a pair of work boots. Because he has these, apparently. Insists on riding in a government motor pool vehicle instead of either his limousine or an SDF transport as the cabinet suggested. Lad, he said, would have been too involved when his father rode on his white charger when reviewing the troops. He was possessed of wearing a ground SDF helmet, wore construction works helmet instead. So instead of looking like an emperor, he looked like some dude who clocked off work. He wanted to prove that he was suffering with the people. Oh, okay, but why? The point that we're trying to solve everything that his father made is way more effective. The vehicle chosen was rather plain. A dark blue Nissan Sentra that's saved for the Kanakaji. That's not what it's called again. Marking indicating that it was a Government of Japan motor pool vehicle. The national flag and imperial stand on the front fenders were passed for any vehicle in rush hour. Just in case an SDF troop transport followed a discreet distance. Inside the SDF transport of a sailor Senshi. The bureaucrat driving the Sentra saw a bombed-out elementary school, National Police, SDF troops, EMS technicians and firefighters sifting through the rubble. Stop here, Akihito said. The car screeched to a halt. Everyone clambered out of their vehicles. The SDF and mobile unit troops surrounded the area with the sailor Senshi staying close to him. The destruction was horrific. The entire front facade was down, exposing the classrooms. Rescue crews didn't even pause to see who was approaching. Remember, crew chief did notice. Your Imperial Majesty, began the crew chief. What brings you here? And why are you dressed like a moron? I want to help, was Akihito's reply. He approached the rubble and began to help clear it. The stench of death was hanging in the air. There was a head of state of Japan standing amidst all the chaos, helping to save lives. In earlier times, this would have been viewed as the act of a god saving his people. Now it was viewed as a mere human, a compassionate one, not afraid to do his part in restoring order to his nation. Some of the older workers, mainly EMS personnel who have some memories of times past, stopped and bowed beside them at work. This is how one showed concern for the welfare of his people, not by riding horses seeing his armed force in colourful display. Wow, wait a minute, the whole point of doing that ritual, to show that we are working hard, it's not meant to show that we're not concerned, it's meant to show that we are doing everything possible to bring this to an end. Soon enough, a girl was found, barely alive. Her brown sweater, black skirt and white hat were torn to tatters. An EMS technician began to administer CPR on her. A few minutes later, however, she was dead. Oof. The EMS technician closed her eyes and faced away from her. Began to weep, but life drained from his exhausted face. Sailor Moon found a boy in the rubble. Seemed to be miraculously alright. conveniently. He was a bit dazed though. Mama, he said. He rubbed his eyes. That one word caused Sailor Marcel a tear. At least he had parents waiting for him. She had no one now. You have your dad, the distant government official guy. She hugged him, letting the tears flow. The Emperor's papers struck them. The Prime Minister pulled up soon after. All the cities like this, Your Imperial Majesty, he said. Everywhere there are flames, smoke, and rubble, and carnage. I've endured enough, and more than enough, is what Akihito finally said. Another car pulled up, and another bureaucrat appeared. It would be best if you return to Imperial Palace, Your Imperial Majesty, he said. There's some reports you need to look at concerning the damage. I'll be there shortly, was the Emperor's reply. His mind was made up. Something had to be done about all this chaos. All were looking at him now with some sign, even if it was symbolic in nature. Anything to rally the people to help their beleaguered government. He got back to his car and the party made its way back to Imperial Palace. Back at SDF HQ, Gentorimo received discouraging news. The government was considering surrendering to the NIRAA. I'll tell you that, the American Congress and the American President were deadlocked about a joint resolution backing any UN efforts to send in troops to stop the attacks. Apparently the fears of another Vietnam, another Yugoslavia or another Somalia were hovering over them. This is nothing like that. You are not trying to overthrow a government you disagree with. You are trying to get rid of terrorists are trying to get rid of a government they don't agree with. You went to Gentorm and said, if the government surrenders, the NIRAA will win. That does not come to pass. Gentorm asked, what was that saying your friend Mammon said? It's always the darkest before the dawn? He replied, yes, that's what he said. Gentorm said, it's time to break the darkness. Go to Imperial Palace and ask the Emperor's opinion. If people listen to him, all may not yet be lost. Very well, sir, said Ryu. He then left with Governor Guy and the Solar Warrior. Gentorm was now alone. After he joined the SDF, he converted to Lutheranism. That was the major handicap in Japan. Christianity now was as much tolerated as Buddhism was before it. Even Empress Michiko was herself a Catholic and had went to a Catholic university. She was the first non-Buddhist and non-Shintoist to marry into the imperial family. The Lutheran Church, Missouri Synod, which he belonged to, had made considerable inroads in Japan in recent years. He now knelt and bowed his head in prayer. Almighty and merciful God the Father, our nation now stands at a critical crossroads in its history. There arose in this nation who wished to restore the tyranny that had brought untold suffering on countless millions just over half a century ago. If it be your will, stop these people from evil intentions and guide our nation to a new and better day. Give to those who the sword the state is given to a power to quell unrest and trouble. Look of your mercy over our troops. If they fall in combat, take them into your kingdom as honored war dead. Always ask for you, the rule of this universe, in the name of your Son Jesus Christ, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, who with you and the Holy Spirit reigns and lives now and forever. Amen. And never mind, I've got and Gentorimo now left the battle to God. This was all he could do now. Londale Data 14, Corlu's last stand. The Lawndale militia was beginning to move out of its bunker beneath the Lawndale Gun Club. Every soldier equipped with sterin grenades. Somehow his new offence seemed to carry up the air of a suicide mission. As the last soldiers left the compound, Anthony Corlew turned around, took out a remote control device and pressed the low red button on it. The entire Lawndale Gun Club complex blown up by hidden ordnance packs hidden in strategic points around the area. Way to blow your cover. If I fail and miss, there won't be a trace of the facility left, they won't have any evidence against me, Amby said to himself. There are multiple witnesses who saw you do it. That's pretty much enough for anyone. The Lawndale militia was moving towards the downtown area, perhaps for a last time. Downtown Lawndale looked like a tornado had struck it. The Lawndales had to hang on for another hour until the National Guard arrived, taking their street time. Daria, Usagi, and Miura were at the ready. Upchuck, the Geekykins, go on to Daria. After this is all over, you want to go to my foxhole and make love, not law? Wow! Upchuck said to Daria. Upchuck, if you don't leave me alone this instant, I'll personally demonstrate on you what Lorena Bobbitt did to John Wayne Bobbitt. I replied. Upchuck got the hint and got away from her. This is it, everyone, Mr. Martino said. This battle would either mean the end of the Lawndale militia or the beginning of the dark age of this town. Got to hold on until the National Guard arrives. Just remember there's a commotion on the edge of town. The Lawndale militia was arriving. Anthony was at the front of the troops. They had gas masks on. It looked like they were going to launch a terrifying attack. On my signal, fire the sarin bombs, Anthony said. The troops got ready to pull the pins on the grenade and throw them. They had a mere second to stop the attack for the deadly sarin. Again with the spelling. Gas would be released. Leave this up to me, Usagi said. She spread her wings and began to fly. Militia men had now pulled the pins. The only thing that separated death from Lawndale was the safety hands in a mere 5 seconds. They were ready to throw the grenade. Throw it well, Anthony said. The grenades being thrown to rapid fire place. Suddenly Usagi flew right above them and waved her moon scepter around the general area. Moon Princess Elation! Shouted Sailor Moon. The energy hit the grenade and turned more into harmless dust. Then fell on the attackers. Get them now, we've got the advantage, Mr. DiMartino yelled. All the 3 Lawndales advanced from a bewildered militia. The fighting was fierce. Casualties were heavy on both sides, but superior numbers of the 3 Lawndales was beginning to tell. Zoom on, the militia man was yelling, everyone for himself, Medea will take the hindmost. Suddenly Anthony saw his support dissipating. And come back here and fight or I'll shoot every last one of you, Anthony said. It was no use, he was all alone now. Give yourself up, Darius said. The National Guard will be here soon, we're going to restore law and order here. Never! I will never submit to jackbooted thugs like them! Anthony roared and fled St. Eligius' Presbyterian Church. It had a tall bell tower. We're going to do a Beauty and the Beast here. Darius, Usagi, Amy, Jane, Trent and Jesse were in hot pursuit. Anthony got there first and ran up the stairs, first jimmying the door so it wouldn't open. Darius got there soon after. The door's been jimmy closed, I can't open it, she said. Way to restate the obvious. Stand back, Usagi said. Jiren shouted, Sailor Moon, kick! The door was kicked into splinters. Simians ran up the stairs to the top of the bell tower. Anthony was bare, armed with an AK-47, some white phosphorus grenades and a Bowie knife. Stand back! I'll kill you all if I don't! He yelled. Sailor Moon stood in front of everyone else said, You evil man! Trying to submit to the very nation government you claim to be saving. I am a pretty soldier, Eternal Sailor Moon, champion of love and justice. In place of Moon, you're punished. Okay, he got the first part right this time, but the last part he got it even more wrong. You're not in Tokyo anymore, you Jap bitch! Anthony said and flung his Bowie knife right at Usagi. Daria tugged on a rope, causing a bell to ring and strike the knife out of harm's way. Daria now stared at him. What are you waging this war for? She asked. Why are you waging this war for? What? Anthony replied. To bring back constitutional government. Daria responded. Why do you want to establish dictatorship by the complete antithesis of everything the founding fathers fought for in the Constitution? About 60 years, another group exists about blaming nation's problems on minority groups and a so-called decadent government. They eventually got into power and killed many who opposed them. They're called the Nazis. Groups like yours saying the letter of the Constitution must be obeyed, but you violate spirits. It's by trying to deny rights to minorities and others who disagree with you. Oh, I knew this speech was coming. It was repeated in the sequel. Besides, if you take over this country, why does it stop the same groups you persecute and form their own terrorist organizations like the Black Panthers and the FALN? The Black Panthers? What? Do they go around shouting Wakanda forever? Groups like yours forget that violence only brings on more violence. Or this is the Americana dream. Is everyone else's nightmare and won't allow you to bring that to reality. Then you are a traitor, yelled Anthony. No, you're a traitor, Mr. Corlew. Daria replied. Anthony screamed, Die, traitor! Lunged for a Bowie knife. Daria got there as well and a fierce struggle began. They were rolling around the floor, getting perilously close first to the opening for the ropes, then to the edge of the tower. Punches were exchanged, blood was spilled, Usagi Miura stood there helplessly. Daria knocked the knife out of Anthony's hand. Anthony then locked Daria in a chokehold and threw her up against the ledge. You can't stop us all, there's too many like us all over the country, Anthony bellowed. Now I'm going to snap your neck. Everyone knew they had to do something now. Trent saw a Bowie knife down the floor and picked it up. I won't let you murder the one I love, Trent yelled. Anthony turned around and see Trent throw the knife right to his heart. Anthony stood there for a second, then drew the knife out. I'll take me with you, you welfare-cheating hippie! He managed to spurt out. He was ready to fling the knife back at Trent. However, Usagi ran up to him. Sailor Moon, kick! She yelled and kicked him real hard. Forced the kick through Anthony cleared the ledge and out of the tower. Anthony yelled, "Ah!" as he plunged 100 feet to the ground. Murray made great splats upon impact, was run over by a Humvee troop transport. In Emerald on a 4 Abrams tank, the National Guard unit singing Fleet Mac Tusk. No kill like overkill, I suppose. And also, I doubt the National Guard be allowed to sing this song. Just saw the whole thing and then said, "Trent, this is bumming me out, man." Trent replied, "I know, man, but it had to be done." Jesse added, "Man, go Phil went the same way." What? Some guy threw him out of the tower and then he got run over by multiple cars? Now I can now see that the National Guard had arrived. "It's the National Guard. You are to surrender immediately. You are completely surrounded." The voice sounded like Bullhorn. Daria went to Trent and said, "Thanks for saving my life. I never let anyone hurt you, Daria." Trent says he embraced her. They French kissed. Why simply French kissing? Why not just kiss? Some National Guard soldiers are climbing up the tower. One asked, "Is everyone alright?" "Yes, everything's fine now," Jane said. She had a satisfied smile on her face, saw her brother and Daria continue to kiss. She wasn't going to forget this moment anytime soon. Sometime later, the National Guard was beginning to restore order. Trucks full of captured drawn down militia soldiers were being routed out of town to Powell Army, where the unit was stationed. Mayor, along with the commanding officer of the unit, approached Daimyo as they came down from Bell Tower. "This town, in fact the whole nation, owes you an immeasurable debt of gratitude, young lady." The commander was Colonel Thomas Wood. "Thanks for specifying who this guy is, like we're supposed to care," said to Dyer. "No need to thank just me, Colonel," Dyer said. "This is a team effort." "Yeah, Trent was the one who pushed the guy out." "Throw your arms around you, Sergeant Allen, and most of the rest of their friends." "Miss Morgendorfer," the mayor said. "Words can't even begin to express our thanks to you and the others who freed our town to Miss Menace." Mr. DiMartino now approached Miss Lee. Samantha usually putting Miss Lee was rather downtrodden. "Miss Lee," Mr. DiMartino said, "I think you are a good citizen of this city, an explanation for the callous disregard to the public safety, and the shameless huckstering of corporate sponsorship and waste of taxpayers' money you made for your silly football game." "Miss Lee," the mayor said, "I intend to have the Board of Education audit your school's entire finances. I think you have some major explanations to make to myself, the City Council, and the State Education Department for all this." "I'm eventually vindicated," Miss Lee said. "You're going to pay, DiMartino?" "I seriously doubt that," Mr. DiMartino said, his right eye bulging out again. "Phew. I got some very convincing evidence here that will prove my case. Once I'm done with you, you'll never become school superintendent here or anywhere else." Miss Lee just slunk away. "Much we'd like to stand here and collect all his praise," Dyer said. "Still got some outstanding business to deal with in Tokyo, right, everyone?" "You said it, Dyer," Sailor Moon said. Dyer then added, "Before bad, but just one little detail I want to take care of." Sailor Moon asked, "What's that?" Dyer replied, "Change my I called it one of my stupid self because one of those armed bikinis I keep seeing in your anime back in Japan." Sailor Moon was aghast and shocked, then said, "Are you kidding me?" "Hey, you just saved my life. It's the least you could do," shot back Dyer. Okay, Psych said, took the moon's scepter and waited for the Dyer. "Moon transformation magic!" she yelled. Dyer transformed again, this time wearing a blue-armed bikini with blue knee-length boots. On her left breast was a symbol for Mercury, oh god. "Now you're talking," Dyer said. "Okay, who's with us?" Sailor Moon wants to know. Jane, Trent and Jessie raised their hands. "Carol's in too," a voice said nearby. There's Mac and Jody. "Mac, Jody, you want to join us as well?" said Dyer. Mac replied, "Hey, I want to help. Besides, I want to know if my cousin is okay." "Here's, I assure you," Dyer said. "You're more than welcome to join us anyway." Like they were saying, railroading. "All aboard!" Dyer said. "Everyone gather around me." They did so. Same we hoped Moon said, "Moon teleportation activation!" Pretty sure that's different to what was said earlier. But we've gone here fast. "Godspeed." "Godspeed, Daria Morgendorfer." "Godspeed," the mayor said. Back at Tokyo, Yoriko is so close to Imperial Pass that she can almost sense the impending victory. She's looking forward to this for a long time. "Soon, father, you will be vindicated." She yelled. Unless a miracle happened, Japan would once again be in the grip of tyranny. That's all I'm reading for today. It continues to get worse before it gets better. And next time will be the two-part finale, where I hope to have dragged somebody in to help me do it. See you then.